Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rammy G TV. For those of you that are new, welcome. I'm Rammy G and I read scary stories on the internet, so you don't have to do it alone. Usually I do ghost videos, supernatural videos, scary videos, creepy creepypastas. So, I'm going to make this October a little bit more special, but I will do something that is impossible for skeptics to talk about. For the month of October, I'm going to try to upload one video a day talking about a serial killer. And I know that YouTube might not monetize because the stuff that these guys do is really horrific. I will try my best to keep it clean for YouTube. All of this is for educational purposes, YouTube. But I will try to talk about one serial killer every day for the month of October, leading up to Halloween, which won't be about a serial killer, I'll tell you that straight up. It'll be something to provide some Halloween spirit. But until then, guys, hopefully you enjoy these. And also, these are just quick stories. They're just backstories and basically just important pieces of the serial killer's life. And in no way, shape, or form am I glorifying it. It's just something that fascinates me, and I'm pretty sure it fascinates a lot of people that see this channel. This is the longest intro I'm probably going to do for the whole month of October. Everything else is going to be straight to the point. I'm just letting you guys know as of right now that that's what I'm going to do. One serial killer a day for the month of October. But I do want to tell you guys that only 2.2% of you are subscribed, and that is a really low number. 2.2% out of 100 are subscribed. But without further ado, here's the first serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer. Roll that intro. Jeffrey Dahmer is among the most troubling of all serial killers. An apparently regular guy who turned into a psychopathic murderer, necrophile, and cannibal. Dahmer was born on May 21st, 1960, the son of Lionel, a chemist, and Joyce, a homemaker. Joyce was highly strung, while Lionel worked long hours. The pair argued a great deal, but to all appearances it was a normal family household. However, at an early age, Jeffrey developed a fascination with dead animals. Then, age 6, following a hernia operation and the birth of his younger brother David, he became withdrawn. He remained solitary and friendless throughout his childhood. In his teens, his fascination with dead creatures intensified. He would cycle around looking for roadkill, which he would dismember carefully. By the time of his high school graduation, he had also become a heavy drinker. Jeffrey's parents did not appear to notice his troubles, as by this time they were locked in a divorce. During the summer of 1978, just as Jeffrey was due to graduate, they both moved out of the house, leaving Jeffrey there alone. His response was to pick up a hitchhiker, Stephen Hicks, take him home and have intercourse with him. And then, when Hicks tried to leave, Dahmer would hit him over the head with a barbell, strangle him, dismember his corpse, and bury his body nearby. Jeffrey's father, Lionel, had by this time moved in with his second wife, Sherry, who pointed out that her new husband's son was an alcoholic. Lionel responded by giving Jeffrey an ultimatum to stop drinking or to join the army. Jeffrey refused to stop drinking, so his father saw to it that he enlisted in January 1979, aged 18. Dahmer appeared to enjoy army life, but he was soon discharged for habitual drunkenness. Soon after, he moved into an apartment in his grandmother's basement, and his life continued its downward spiral. In 1982, Dahmer was arrested for indecent exposure, and again in 1986. Each time, his father would pay for lawyers, and for his second offense, Dahmer was given a suspended sentence and counseling. The counseling clearly had little effect, as he went on to kill 3 times during this next year. His first victim that year was Stephen, whom he met at a gay bar. He murdered Stephen in a hotel and put his body in a suitcase, took it home, had intercourse with it, and proceeded to dismember it. Next, Dahmer murdered a 14-year-old Native American boy called James, who hung around the Milwaukee gay scene. After James came a Mexican youth named Richard. At this point, Dahmer's grandmother, bothered by his drunkenness and the terrible smells coming from the apartment, evicted him. Dahmer moved into his own flat in Milwaukee on September 1988. The next day, he lured a 13-year-old Laothian boy there, offering to pay him for a nude modeling session. He drugged the boy and fondled him, but did not become violent. The boy's parents reported Dahmer to the police. He was sentenced to a year in prison for sexual assault. While waiting for his sentence, however, he killed his next victim, Anthony Sears. Dahmer served 10 months in prison before beginning his final killing spree, between June 1990 and July 1991. He would go on to murder another 12 men. In the end, he was committing a murder almost every week, and his treatment for his victim was becoming even more bizarre. He was obsessed with the notion of creating zombies, half-humans who would be his playthings. To this end, he would drill holes in the victim's skull while they were still alive, and would drop acid into their heads. Unsurprisingly, none of the victims survived. In at least one case, he also tried cannibalism. He kept his victims' body parts in his refrigerator and placed their heads on an altar in his bedroom. Most disturbing of all the cases was the case of Conrad, the brother of the Laothian teenager he had previously molested. Dahmer drugged Conrad, but the boy managed to escape from the apartment. 2 young black women found Conrad and called the police, but when they arrived to the scene, Dahmer persuaded the police that the drugged and bleeding Conrad was his boyfriend. Incredibly, the police returned the boy to Dahmer, who promptly took him home and murdered him. In the next few weeks, a frenzied Dahmer went to kill his last 4 victims. On July 22, 1981, his final intended victim, an adult black man, Tracy Edwards, escaped from his apartment, a pair of handcuffs tailing from his wrists. Edward managed to flag down a police car and led them back to the apartment, where they were horrified to find a human head in the refrigerator. Dahmer's killing spree was finally over. As details of the story emerged to the press, the full picture of Dahmer's horrific crimes shocked an America that had been accustomed to tales of murder and perversion. By August 22, 1991, Dahmer had been charged with 15 counts of murder. His trial began on January 30th, 1992. He pleaded guilty but insane. The jury found him sane, and he was sentenced to 15 consecutive life sentences. In prison, Dahmer refused to be placed in solitary confinement. On November 28, 1994, a fellow inmate took an iron bar and smashed it down on Dahmer's skull. The blow would take his life a few days later. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, guys, and this is basically how it's going to be for the entire month of October. Just quick, short to the point, probably no more than 10-minute video. Also, since YouTube's probably going to demonetize all of this month because of the heinous stuff that these guys do, and women, because there's some women in there also, they're probably going to demonetize it. So either way, I don't mind, just because I want to get this information out because I find it interesting, and I'm pretty sure if you clicked on the video, you find it interesting as well. Since it won't get monetized, so if you guys can help me by subscribing if you like the content, leave a comment of who's your favorite serial killer or who do you think I'm going to do next, and leave a like only if you like the video. But if you don't like the video, please let me know in the comments below what can I do to improve it. So with that being said, guys, thank you, and I look forward to you guys listening for the rest of the month. Until next time, guys, sweet dreams.